Welcome to this Cosmic Dragon Oracle reading. Tonight we step into the realm of dragons as cosmic guardians, and we listen for what your dragon wishes to share with you. This is a pick-a-card reading. This reading unfolds in an enchanted forest, like the one you see in the background now. We'll draw oracle cards to open the atmosphere, the moon, the stars, and the forest itself, each reflecting your current path and the energy surrounding you. Then your dragon will speak through the Dracones Loquí cards and the Cosmic Starseed cards. 3 dragons have stepped forward tonight. Group 1. Your dragon is number 10, and his keyword is Transcendence and achieving success. Group 2, your card is number 4. This is a dragon of wisdom, and the keyword is asking questions. Group 3, your card is number 5, and this is a dragon of miracles with keywords of making a difference. If a dragon could speak to you, which one would it be? Choose the one that you feel drawn to. After you select your dragon, you can jump directly to your reading using the timestamps below. Group 1, tonight we'll meet the dragon of Transcendence. This is a dragon of achieving success. He's a bold, fierce dragon, fiery too, blending with the energies of the fire horse starting at the time when this reading is being done. The dragon of Transcendence heralds change. This change can be challenging or liberating, depending on your situation. But in whatever way it arrives, it is always a lesson for learning. But before the dragon speaks, let us journey through the forest of the night. The first card that we are going to draw and turn is the card of the moon. This card will explain the overall tone of the reading, like a moon face shining over the forest. Group 2, your reading starts with a soft message. Your card is Balsamic Moon, and the message is a time for healing. This card encourages you to take into account the messages of your body and well-being. Follow the subtle signs that encourage you to rest. Surrender to the idea that resting sometimes means inactivity, meaning that you can't be both achieving and healing at the same time. But without the healing, the achieving is hindered as well. Next, we'll see what advice the starry skies will give us tonight. You receive the celestial chalice. The message reads, "Your cup overflows with blessings. Receive the divine abundance meant for you." This is a lovely message that balances the balsamic moon. It means that blessings, healing, and abundance is available for you already in your life, not just in the future. We'll move the celestial chalice here to the skies. It seems that you are moving under very, very soft stars and soft skies, encouraging you to heal and receive. Then we'll journey through the forest and turn the Mystic Forest Oracle card. You receive the card exactly as you are. A card with the message of the one who is always dissatisfied with the present moment will never have a better future. Give yourself permission to feel content right here, right now. All of the three cards have been encouraging you to live at the present, not in the past, not in some future where your tasks are already complete and your situation has already stabilized, but here, now, in this moment. After all, the present is the only moment where we actually are alive. Three cards of the Enchanted Earth then follow. These cards are cards of enchanted forest, full of wildlife and night creatures, guiding you as you walk towards your celestial dragon. Let's see what guidance the forest wants to give you. Your first card is Follow the Leader, with keywords of influence, inspire, and collective thinking. This card reminds you that you are not alone in your path. There are supportive people and supportive groups, but sometimes you do need to put in the effort to actually go and meet them. This is also a card of being inspired and receiving a collective healing. Earth is currently undergoing her own growth, and this affects many of us, meaning that many people are doing currently the healing work, probably similar than yours, even if we are all individuals. So allow yourself to be influenced by people who are also seeking healing and also seeking inspiration. Let's turn your second card. Oh, this is a card of enough. This lovely forest night scenery reminds you that you are appreciated. You need to be patient, and self-love is one of the key words and key themes for your life right now. The thing with self-love is that in order to understand it, you need to embrace the idea that there is nothing wrong with you at the moment. And this can be somewhat difficult thought to hold, because we are so often encouraged that we are somehow broken, or we are too something, too tall, too heavy, too dumb, too poor, or something. We are lacking something, or we are not good enough in some way. So self-love really grows from this idea that there is nothing that needs fixing in you. This doesn't mean that you never have to strive for anything, like you don't need to do any sports because you are perfect as you are. Not in that way, but in a way that you are deserving of love exactly as you are. And this ties to the other keyword, appreciated. And if these lessons are difficult for you to grasp, or if you find that you need to return to them again and again, that is okay, because one of the keywords in the card is also patient, meaning that it is okay if these lessons take time to integrate. It is okay if you return to them like onion after layer, that when you find when you succeed in loving you in one way, then you suddenly fall into another hole where you find guilt and shame. That is okay. Walking on this journey requires patience, and in a way this is a lifelong journey. But still, the main message of this card is that you are appreciated right now, exactly as you are. Next, let's turn your third and final card of the forest. Ooh, your card is Divine Timing, and the lively verdant green card has keywords of timing, trust, and success. And I think this is an omen that ties to the Dragon of Transcendence, because his keyword is achieving success, and then we have the word success also repeating in here, meaning that things will happen in their own timing. And sometimes the best thing that you can do is to trust that this is the case. And it can be frustrating at times when you feel that, oh, I wish I would have been healed already, or I wish that all those blessings would be mine in all possible levels. Well, it is a long journey, and in many cases there isn't a way to hasten it in any ways. And life is worth living after all, meaning that our time here is finite. So the best possible way for you to go forward is to allow healing whenever that is needed. Live full life, receiving blessings and abundance in a form life gives them to you right now, while realizing that you are perfect in exactly as you are at the moment, and you are enough, appreciated, and deserving of self-love. While at the same time, it is okay to work on your healing and to be inspired, and also strive for the success that you wish to work for, achieving the success, as the dragon card says. All right, we've already gotten quite wonderful message from the forest, and from as we have been walking through the forest through different paths. But the main message is still to be unveiled, and that is the message of the dragon. So, are you ready? I think we are approaching the lair of the cosmic dragon. So, let's lay down your cards. So, these cards will reflect the message of the dragon. And in case the cards aren't familiar with you, The round ones are cards called Dracones Loquí, meaning that they are cards especially designed to cipher draconic language. And since this is a cosmic dragon, we are also blending it with oracle card with very cosmic frequencies at the back. So let's hear the Dragon of Transcendence as they speak. Your first card is Empathic Starseed with energetic sovereignty, absorbing what's not yours. And Dragon Speak is create. Ooh, okay, I know exactly what this speaks. It speaks that when you are doing your creative work, whatever that is, whether that is your whether you are a creator as your profession, or you create art, or you create whatever is your medium, food, stories, articles, whenever you are creating it, don't be too open to energies of the others, meaning that be true to the core of your work instead of absorbing what is not yours. Empathic Starseed is a card of boundaries, meaning that it emphasizes your energetic sovereignty, meaning that you need to have clear borders of where your energy ends and other people's energy is allowed in. And there is a difference. Sometimes you can be inspired by the collective healing and by collective people, but there is also, it can also be so that on other areas you are letting in advices and structures and pressure that is not needed in your work, and that is not good for your work. So let me place that in there. So the heart of this message from the Dragon of Transcendence is that be true to the heart of what you do, and do not let other people's opinions or other people's rules or other people's preferences stray you from what you feel true. When you are listening to your own inner self and you're respecting exactly what you are, and you feel that you are enough and you are worthy of love and appreciated, it also means that what you produce is perfect as it is, even if it is imperfect in some other person's eyes. Let's hear the Dragon of Transcendence's second message. Your cosmic card is the Seas of Mintaka, seeing potential, bringing unconsciousness to light, and the Dracones Loquí card connected to it is Sea. Okay. This is interesting. See, you have the word see in here, and also seeing potential, and we are hearing it from the Dragon of Transcendence with keywords of achieving success, meaning that the Dragon of Transcendence is now encouraging you to see something that has a lot of potential of helping you achieving what you need to achieve. The Dragon or the Seas of Mintaka in case you aren't familiar, Mintaka is a starseed or planet where starseeds are from. And the seas of Mintaka are said to be very clear water, and the air or the water in there is like swimming in crystal, and you can move in it freely, and it's warm and pleasant. And this planet is said to be host to beings that are close to mermaids, that they live and inhabit the waters. And what is important in this very, very clear water is that in it you can see very, very far. So the clear waters is a symbol of having sight far away to the future and having a clear vision. And the same kind of message echoes in the Dracones Loquí card as well. So another hint that we get is bringing unconsciousness to light, meaning that while you're searching for this thing that you need to see, let your intuition and let your unconsciousness bring those things forth. Of course, you can wander around in the world and go seek it, but this card is encouraging you that is actually in your unconsciousness where you will eventually find it. So that would be a hint that do dream work, pay attention to your dreams, see what kind of messages you can get from there. And with dream work and their symbolism, it's good to keep in mind that often the message that the dream is trying to interpret is actually a message of emotions, meaning that what actually happens in the dream is kind of less important than how it feels in the dream. Do you feel chased? Do you feel betrayed? Do you feel supported? Pay attention to these kind of things, and if these things are if these messages seem to be hinting that something is unresolved, pay attention to them also in the waking world, so that you could then resolve the things in your waking world, to let your unconsciousness let the subject come to a natural conclusion. This is an interesting message, and I think this will be different for each one of you. There is, however it manifests in your life, that is unique to you. But the dragon is definitely pointing you that you need to see something. You need to see something that has been unconscious for you before, and it is now coming to light, and that is providing you truth to build on and truth to achieve the success and the transcendence that you are aiming for. Let's turn your third and final cards and see what is the final message of the Dragon of the Transcendence. Your celestial card is loosen your grip, coping mechanisms, density, addiction, and let God in. And the Dracones Loquí card connected to that is Trinity. Ooh, wow, that's interesting, because I very rarely have cards that have such a profound and clear messages like let the God in and then Trinity. If you are Christian, this might speak to you in that sense, because they have their Holy Trinity. But naturally other religions carry thoughts about Trinity as well, like the great Mother Goddess, who has the aspects of Maiden, Mother and Crone. And there are other cycles where you can divide the journey into 3 distinct phases. Anyways, the first card, loosen your grip. is talking to you quite directly, and the dragon is pointing that there are some coping mechanisms that are bringing density to your life, meaning that something that you do might be actually kind of pushing your energy down instead of lifting you up. So maybe you have been trying to cope against stress by dropping some good habits, or maybe embracing some bad ones, like trying to cope through numbing or through unhealthy food or some other habit that is actually bringing you down. So this is interesting because the beginning, as we walk through the forest, the messages were very, very soft, and this is now a bit tougher, tough love for you, meaning that have a good look, see what things are speaking to you and what things are bringing your energy down, and consciously change those. And that is how you can then enhance your transcendence and your goals. But when we look at this reading as a whole, it's not just the message that go and tackle your vices, because there is so many cards that are speaking about self-love and being good as you are. So this speaks about finding a balance, that first you need to rest and heal and appreciate and be inspired, and then you have the energy to transform some of the challenging aspects or challenging habits that you have been developing naturally to help you overcome challenges. Maybe at that point, when you feel healthy and abundant, it is easier then to let go of those things that actually bring you down and replace them with something that actually inspires you, and replace them with something that nourishes and supports you. So let's have a good one last look of your reading and see if there's anything else that comes now as we look at it, so that all the cards have been turned. Well, group one, I see this balance between resting and recovering and living in the moment, as well as building towards the future by respecting your own visions and your own boundaries, and looking towards the future and finding the potential, seeing the potential in the events and things in your life, as well as eventually facing those things that bring you down, but in your own face, after you have healed, after you feel that you are supported and loved. So overall, if I look at all of this, this is a reading, balancing act, and that is your main message. Balancing act of taking care of yourself, nurturing yourself, but at the same time, yes, challenging you so that it actually supports you. And a very extra hint now, as I'm looking at the card, extra hint that kind of glows and shimmers from this reading to me is the Seas of Mintaka, it having another message saying that go to have a swim. Go swimming. Because somehow this is the only card in the sheltered floral forest that is around us, and it shines like a jewel in here. So it encourages you, go and have a swim. That's it has many good sides. You can relax in the water, play in the water, and also it's good exercise, good habit to tackle those bad habits. So yeah, that was one last practical advice. So by that, the reading comes to an end. This concludes our reading, Group 1. I thank you for the time you spent here. And if you wish to support what I do, leave a like or subscribe to the channel. Now it's time for Group number 2. Welcome, Group 2, to your reading. You have selected the Dragon of Wisdom with keywords of asking questions. I am very curious where this reading will lead as we keep asking those questions. If we study this card quite carefully, we'll notice that there is a constellation of Draco drawn in the background of the card. This connects this dragon especially to the celestial dragon in the skies, and you could even suggest that if you felt drawn towards this group, you might have some starseed background origin in the constellation of the Draco. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. First, our journey goes through the forests and through celestial cards before we arrive to hear the message of the dragon. Our first card is the card of the moon, and then we'll go to the star, celestial star advices, as well as having a total of 4 cards of the forest. So I'll start with the card of the moon, because like an astrological forecast, this card gives the overall tone of your current situation and of this reading. So let's turn your card of the moon and see what moon phase we have tonight. And your card is the energy is gaining momentum, waxing moon. This is interesting beginning because it already tells that something is bubbling under, something is forming under the, let's say that under a sheet of snow, the seeds are waiting for the next spring, and perhaps as the snow melts, the water is awakening the seeds. So something is growing, something is changing, perhaps in a subconscious level, or perhaps sort of under the covers. We'll see where this momentum is leading you to. Then the next card we are going to turn is an oracle card of the celestial realms. So this is the guidance of the stars. And our celestial card gives us celestial protection. The message in the card reads, "You are divinely protected. Trust that you are safe to pursue your dreams." This is interesting card as it's tied to the waxing moon, because that is also a card of emerging. So you are now getting confirmation from the starry skies as well as from the lunar energies that something in your life is becoming, and this becoming is sacred and protected. Trust that you are safe to pursue your dreams. That is very self-explanatory. So lovely celestial positive vibe so far. Let's continue in our magical forest. As you can see, this background dragon is surrounded by magical forest, so we'll turn the Mystic Forest Oracle card next. This is one of my favorite decks of these kind of oracle cards. Very spot on messages usually. Let's see what you get this time. Soul awakening. Ooh, Nice. The message reads, you are quite irresistible when your mind and heart pulse in the same rhythm. Why spend your days fighting yourself? You have better things to do. Okay, so this card speaks about inner alignment, so that as said, why spend your days fighting yourself? Reflect what this could mean to you. Is this that you are fighting your bad habits, or is this that you are fighting old programming of shame, or is this that you are fighting perhaps some other aspect of yourself? Perhaps the message is intuitively clear immediately for you, but if not, this card awakens you to contemplate on what are the forces in you that you are clashing against. Because when you do get into that alignment where your heart is singing its song and your actions are aligning with it, that is a magical alignment that propels you forth. Out of these three cards, I still feel that the celestial protection is the strongest one, meaning that the soul awakening is kind of gently nudging you that that's the right direction, and this card is kind of saying that just go for it. Next we'll turn three cards of the Enchanted Earth, and they will speak about the forest around the dragon and the creatures that live in there, and see what kind of advice and guidance we can draw from the magical forest before we meet the dragon. So your first card is New Dawn, with keywords of death, rebirth and grief. Okay, alright, so this card clearly ties to the energy of momentum and change, and this protected alignment and protected change that you are going through. And but this card kind of hints also to the rebirth and grief aspects, that change is rarely easy. Usually we as human beings resist the change, and sometimes making a deliberate change is extremely difficult for us. So it may involve feelings of grief and feelings of letting go and feelings of sorrow. And if that is the case, then the message of this card is that is okay. That is part of the process. The death card in tarot is always one of New Dawn, and so it is kind of in this card as well. There is a sun already. The aurora of the morning auroras are lighting up the peaks over there, and the birds are singing, although the moon, you can still see the moon in there in these beautiful nightly cards. But the message of New Dawn and positive change going forward, it is the main current in this card, I feel. So this card is also about having courage and having faith going forth in your path, aligning bravely and boldly with your soul awakening. Let's turn your next card. Oh, okay. So your next card is Adventure, with keywords of experiences, memories, and present moment. And this is actually a lovely balancing card to the other one, because new momentum can be both letting go of the old energies, letting go of the old structures. Sometimes that requires also doing some letting go and grief work, but at the same time stepping into this new reality, it can be a great adventure. You can have beautiful new experiences, make beautiful memories as you go, and live in the present moment. That is so important. So all in all, this is very, very dynamic reading at this point, and the energy is very forward moving and forward kind of you're many times in readings we often use phrases like you are in a cocoon. So this reading now speaks that you are no longer in a cocoon. You are stepping boldly to your new self and stepping boldly to the new world, if you so choose. So a very interesting reading so far. Let's turn your last card of our way here. So last card of the Enchanted Earth and Enchanted Forest. Oh, lovely. Okay, so the third card returns us to the ground in sense that it reminds you of your sovereignty. And the keywords of the cards are courage, reclamation, and destiny. So the card of destiny, I feel that this, again, I find that it connects to the soul awakening, which is aligning to what you truly are. And also the courage kind of ties into the celestial protection card and to the death and rebirth card in here. So this speaks about the perhaps about not the responsibility in a heavy way, but this speaks about the sovereign truth that you are stepping into in your new dawn, meaning that you are stepping into your own destiny, and also that in this new phase of life, in this new state of life, you have a lot more freedom and also a lot more responsibility. So what do you want to build? Where do you want to put your power? What changes and movement do you want to do? What kind of dreams do you want to pursue? It asks that kind of questions from you. But there's also a word of reclamation in this card, which means that if you have been living in a life, or if there has been periods of life where you have felt quite powerless, or you have felt that you are not able to do certain things, this card brings it back to your own power, saying that you have now the strength, and this is the moment for reclamation. So taking back your own power. And okay, I've been guided to tell you at this point, or suggest to you at this point, that go, if you so choose, go and watch the your hidden power reading. It's a dragon themed reading. I'll link it down below and here in the corner, and that ties to your own sovereignty, and that ties to your own hidden power. So maybe you'll find more clues from that reading, and but even without watching that reading, we can conclude that this reading encourages you to live a sovereign life where you reclaim your own personal power. Okay, wow, what a speedy and strong message we have so far. But the main thing is still just arriving, and that is the dragon's message. So we are finally arriving to the clearing where we can let's arrange them like maybe like so. We are finally arriving to the forest clearing where you can actually meet your dragon of wisdom, and we are here asking questions as the card suggests. And if you have questions in your mind that you would like to have answers to, I suggest that you in your mind eye, or perhaps even out loud if it's possible for you and you so choose, place these questions, and we'll see what kind of answers the dragon gives to it. And we have 3 answers, so you can, if you so choose, select 3 questions. And or if you feel that you rather just listen and follow what the cards are saying and let your intuition speak in that way, that is of course completely fine thing to do. Both ways of approaching the reading are very much welcome in here. But I have now placed the cards on the table. So if you feel that you need more time for the questions that you want the answers to, this is the moment to pause the video and return watching when you have selected your questions. Otherwise, we will continue to turning the cards and seeing what are listening, what the dragon speaks. All right, let's begin. So, the very first answer that the dragon gives is tied to these two cards. The first card is water your garden with keyword of nourishment, body care, tenderness and rest. And connected to this card is a Dracones Loquí keyword, give and receive. Oh, okay. To me this is crystal clear what it means. Now is a time of tenderness, rest and to nourish. And yes, your body, yes, but also this has to do with your relationship to others. Like, for example, if you are living in a partnership, this is now time to give and receive to your partnership and receive from your partnership. And watering, taking care of your relationship is a crucial theme and a crucial answer to your question at that moment. If you are not currently in a relationship, this speaks of nourishment towards your own body, and also your body has been giving quite a lot of things. It carries you around during the day and endures the weathers, and as you carry groceries it serves you. So let your body also to give and receive with this card. Balance your activity with rest and your rest with activity. So if your life is quite sedimentary, this is also about balancing that balance or bringing that harmony into your life. There's also a keyword of tenderness, and this tenderness can be extended to other people and to our relationship, other also than our main relationship. So it can be about friendships where you are reminded that it's a kind of two-way thing, that if you wish to be listened to by a friend, then also be willing to listen, and also it is okay for you to ask holding and presence from your friend if he or she has been receiving that over the time, and that's a natural part of the friendship. So nourishment, body care, tenderness, rest, balancing your relationship, interpersonal relationships, and living in balance of giving and receiving. And also one last small aspect to this pairing of cards, and that is that sometimes certain people only demand, that they only want to receive, that they never give to you. And if that is the case, then you are in a moment where setting up some boundaries of how much you give of yourself is quite important for you at this stage. All right, let's move on to your next question and the wisdom that the dragon is imparting to you at the moment. Your celestial card is surrender to the sweetness, Venus energy, pleasure, joy, make love to life. And the dragon's message is breathe. Okay, lovely. So now we return to the sort of paradise timelines, to sweetness of life, to enjoying music, enjoying sensory pleasures, enjoying beauty of life, flowers, running water, enjoyable bodily things being present. And the dragon adds to it the element of breathe. Okay, I'm getting guidance that the breathing in here has to do with breath work, especially like yogic breathing or meditative breathing, and also breath work as in when you are relaxing, for example at night when you're going to bed, to listen maybe some breath work, so that this would calm your nervous system and relax your body. And dragons are very breathing, breath-oriented creatures, because in the legends they are often associated with the fiery breath that they breathe. So it's no wonder that a wisdom from dragon or a message from dragon returns you back to the breath and breath work. Breathing connects us to other living beings. Humans exchange oxygen and receive they exchange carbon dioxide out, which plants utilize, and then we receive oxygen back, which is this natural loving exchange between us and the living world. And the beauty of breath and meditation, and together with that, returning to these things that nourish you, returning to these things that bring you pleasure and joy, making love to life, these two are your main answer. One last thing that the dragon tells me through this card is that a visualization of dragon's breath can be used if you so choose and if you need it, meaning that if you feel that you are restless, or you are somehow want to have protection or want to have purification for reason or another, you can use this visualization where the dragon, you call forward to your dragon, in this case the dragon of wisdom, but it can also be a dragon of other kind that is on that is your guide, and ask them to breathe their cleansing dragon fire and cleansing dragon breath towards you. Not in a sense that it would burn you, but in a sense that it would burn all that you no longer need and all that no longer serves you in that fiery breath. So I hope that this extra guidance is of use for you. So we come to the final answer and final message of your dragon, and let's see what these cards reveal. Your first card is the golden children, with keywords of inner child, tenderness, innocence, and rare gifts, and that is tied to a dragon word, ripples. Oh, okay. Interesting. Our work with inner child is one of the most meaningful work that we are doing in our lives, and in that inner work we assure our inner child that we are safe, or he or she is, which means that you are, because you are, that inner child is safe, and he or she is protected, and he or she is loved and worthy of love. So this kind of work that you do with yourself, accepting yourself and taking the role of your main supporter, by yourself, that is an act that will ripple outwards towards other people and their life as well, meaning that you can lead by example, but also that when you work with yourself, your relationship with other people becomes more balanced, so you're no longer dependent on other people to take care of yourself when you are the caregiver and when you provide the love towards yourself. This doesn't mean, of course, that other people shouldn't support or love you. Of course they can, and that's lovely if they do. But it means that you are no longer dependent on a negative manner of that care. You know how to calm yourself, you know how to support yourself, and you know how to love yourself. And from this balancing perspective, you lead a much more balanced and loving life. We also have keywords of rare gifts. And this is a good reminder that every one of us has some unique rare gifts. They can be so myriad and wonderful that that there is so much to figure out in that field. There might still be quite a lot of things for you that you haven't discovered yet, and you will only discover by living your life and stepping into your sovereign self and aligning with your deeper inner self. So that kind of positive work that you do with yourself, that one is very much rippling or causing ripples, positive ripples around, for the people around you. But also, I'm being told, also in a sort of cosmic scale, meaning that when we as humanity come to do these work that make us more whole, we come to do these works that align our true self or true calling, and when we step into our own sovereignty and allow the adventures and leave back and behind the things that no longer serve us, even if it causes grief, then we are doing the kind of inner work that is also elevating the whole humanity. And that's partially about the ripples that the dragon language speaks of, meaning that when you work with yourself, since you are part of the collective, the whole vibration of the collective is being enhanced. So that is the third message, that your work is energetically tied to other people, that your personal work is tied to elevating others as well. Wow. Okay. That was a little bit like hold on to your hat kind of reading. But let me have another look of your reading and see if there is a kind of main message that I should still deliver you, or anything extra that I haven't already said. Well, generally speaking, this reading is one great thumbs up. It's a one great green light. Go, 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 go. You are on the right track. You are moving towards sovereignty. There are adventures to be had. You are protected. And if there is grief that you need to work through, that is okay. It's part of the work. And you are being called to your soul awakening. Yeah. With momentum. And this soul awakening is beautiful. it's the word that comes to my mind is it's divine. It brings beauty and pleasure and joy and love to you and people around you. So go forth with your life. It's full of love and full of possibilities for you. Even even if sometimes it doesn't feel like that, but on a deeper level it is, and there is a lot of choices that you have in your life, even if there are some restrictions as well. And if you ever feel like you are out of balance, come back to your breath and summon the celestial dragons to help you and to cleanse you if you feel that would benefit and help you. All right. This concludes our reading, Group 2. I thank you for the time you spent in here and hope that you got insights that will guide you over the following days. Leave a like or subscribe to the channel if you wish to support what I do. Now it's time for Group 3. Welcome to your reading, Group 3. You have selected the Dragon of Miracles as your dragon for tonight. The card's keywords are making a difference, and I can't wait to see what kind of miracles we are going to approach when we visit this dragon. But before we reach the dragon, we will be walking through a nighttime forest, like in the background in here. So here is your pile of oracle cards pre-shuffled, and I will be arranging these like so, and these represents the conditions that are around you as you walk through this magical forest to see your guiding guardian dragon. And the first card we are going to turn is the card of the moon, because this would define the moon phase for the night, as we are in a night forest at the moment. And I can't wait to see what's your moon phase for this reading. Ooh, we're starting with quite heavy messages with the third quarter moon, and adjustments are required. All right, well, this is the starting point where we are moving from something needs to be done, something needs to move, something needs to change. That's okay. We'll see where this moving momentum will take us in a bit. The second celestial card that we are going to turn is the card of the stars. This is a celestial guiding oracle card, and it's usually quite self-explanatory. So let's see what's the case in this case. Your card is Sacred Constellations with message of every star is connected. Trust in the divine design of your journey. All right, so this card does two things. First, it reminds you that no man is an island, meaning that you have connections to other people, to other groups, to other loose networks of friends or colleagues, and you are part of these constellations naturally as part of your life. Also, there is a message of trust in the divine design of your journey, meaning that part of your journey, or if not all of your journey, is guided by divine hand, and certain parts of your journey might require that leap of faith and leap of trust or leaning towards the trust that you are divinely guided is helping you on your journey. Interesting. Maybe you have lost your connection to the divine guidance, or it has faltered so that you're not certain are things going as they are or as they should be going. And so that's interesting. we'll see what's the connection with that card and that card in a bit, I feel. But let's turn some of the other cards first. The Mystic Forest Oracle card stands for the forest around us, the night forest that we are currently in. And the message of this mystical forest is the beginning. There's still time to adjust or start over. Feel life flowing freely through your being. All your wishes can come true in the creative potential of a new beginning. All right, whereas the third quarter moon was kind of hinting that adjustments are required, this card is kind of jumping even more forward, saying that there is still possibility of completely starting anew. But there is promise in this too, saying that all your wishes can come true in the creative potential of a new beginning. I might want to emphasize that the new beginning doesn't mean that you'll trash everything that you have done to this point and start from in the middle of the rubble with a clean sheet. The new beginning can also be a new blossoming in your current path, meaning that there can be a new period that is starting. So it doesn't need to be a drastic remake of everything. But still, I think that the feeling as we are walking now through the forest and reading these signs, the feeling that comes to me is that something needs to change, some sort of a new idea, budding of a new life period, something like that is kind of bubbling under in all this. And there is the sentence of feel the life flowing freely through your being, meaning that you are trusting the life and entering into new beginning is about freedom. It's about feeling the life flowing freely, meaning that you can do these changes and you can grow and you can change directions towards what you are aligning with at the moment. All right, these are Enchanted Earth cards, and they speak in a night language, meaning that most of them are situated in the night forest, and they speak of the creatures in there and the archetypical symbols connected to the events in the card. So let's see what kind of guidance these three cards will give you. Oh, your first card is Changing Winds, with keywords of adaptable self-awareness and decisions. And in the card there is the forest edge is over here, and there's some sort of a meadow where there's beautiful white horse, and the mane of the white horse is flowing. So this strengthens the feeling of something needing to change, like the archetype of the winds of change kind of speaks that the period of time is changing, that there is some sort of a major swelling of or a current that you are perhaps in with, or that these kind of winds of change are affecting you, and there is maybe a shedding of some old things, and maybe adjusting your direction, or having a kind of new beginning, new direction, new course in your life. Quite interesting. There is a very strong feeling of direction and movement in here in these cards, but let's turn to two of these cards first before I'll have a final say of that. So your second card of the forest, Mystical Earth, is You Are the Earth. Reconnect, renew, remember. All right, this might be speaking about the undercurrents of the change that you might be requiring. So it might not be so much about growing into something new, but rather reconnecting and renewing and remembering what truly matters to you. what are the things that bring you meaning? What are the things that bring you joy, happiness, connection to yourself and to the life around you? We can be our heads in the clouds. At times we can be connected to the stellar and cosmic currents, and that's important. That's important to be inspired, and that is important to understand our place in the cosmos. But beside that, in this lifetime, we are all natives of the earth. We are all grounded earth beings, and this card is bringing us to that connection as well, asking us to reconnect to our biological reality, to our roots, to the connection of the web of life with this card. Let's turn your third card. Your third card is empowered with keywords of strength, courage, and self-reliance. And in the card we see a beautiful bear, which is in deep connection with the plants, like almost as if the plants would have been given a crown to this bear. And you can see these magical spirals emerging from the trees back there. All right. So if there are changes that are either going on, or you are currently accelerating them, or you're currently moving through them, or you're working with them, new directions that you are taking that might be at the same time connecting with the wild and connecting with yourself, all this movement and all these changes can require courage from you, and it may require you to be self-reliant and show your strength and be empowered. So sometimes doing these course corrections require conscious movement towards these directions, and that might require that you are empowered as you do that. Or that when you do that, when you step into the new timeline, or step into the new sail, the new wind of change, it is then that you feel empowered. So something in this journey is kind of hinting to me that all of this, despite of what might be happening, it's kind of pointing towards your empowerment. So that is very encouraging message from the forest that we get. Okay, so now when I look back towards the sacred constellations, to me it now seems more that there is a reason why the connection to the earth is important for you, and there is a reason why reconnecting to the forces that renew you is important. And if there are things that you're scared of, that you need to change, then this journey is above all a journey of empowerment in the end. So that is perhaps a reflection of the trust that you see in this card. All right. Quite interesting reading so far, but we are only now arriving to the actual dragon. So let me arrange these cards a little bit so that we can have space for the three main cards in this reading. And these cards, this is a Dragon of Miracles. So these cards speak of the three miracles that the dragon is working with you. I'm not saying it's giving you, because sometimes these miracles require you to work with them, but we'll see what's the nature of them, and then we'll know better what kind of gifts or what kind of miracles the dragon is speaking of. And the speech of the dragon consists of two cards. You have the cosmic starseed card, because these are cosmic dragons, Also, if you look at the dragon cards very carefully, there is always a constellation that the dragon is connected. So these truly are cosmic dragons, as well as I feel that the dragon in the background is. So cosmic guidance in those cards, and then these cards are Dracones Loquí, cards especially designed to decipher dragon speak. These are some of my favorite oracle cards because of their unique way of setting, or unique setting and unique way that they work. All right, here are your cards. We have now arrived to the Dragon of Miracles, with keywords making difference. So what are we making difference about? What is the difference that we need to make? Because adjustments are required, and there is some sort of new beginning and changing winds, as well as returning to the connection with the earth and being empowered. So what is this all about? Tell us about the miracles. What kind of miracles can we hope to receive or hope to work with in order to get Dear Dragon of Miracles for the group 3? Thank you. So the first reply for you is, oh, you got the love and fear. And you got the love card has keywords of Hadarian energy, codependency and boundaries. And this is connected to the dragon word of fear. Okay, so now we are diving into deeper waters, but I'll hold your hand and walk through them with you, so you'll see what this is about. Even though the card's main message is you got the love, this is actually a very strong card of boundaries, because Hadarian energy is pointing towards starseed entities that are known to be kind of sources of cosmic love. So beings that are full of love, full of unconditional love towards everybody and everything. And the challenge with this, especially through this card, is that when you are a source of loving energy like that, there are personalities that feel drawn to this kind of unconditional, unbounded love, and they will seek to exploit it. And that's why we have this codependency and boundaries in here as well. So this card speaks of the situation there where not to shut down our loving heart, but to make sure that we are guarding our secret inner fire and guarding our love, so that those people that only take and never give anything in return, they are not draining us. But there is a deeper current of fear in all this. And now as I'm with these cards and letting their kind of energy and message to flow from the imagery of the card, I feel that the reason some people are so greedy towards your unconditional love, or towards the unconditional love they are given, is that because they have a heart of fear in them. There is something that they are trying to avoid. There's something that they don't want to look. There's something that they don't want to see in themselves, and that's why they need this constant reassurance that they are loved and liked and yeah. So as loving and as wonderful it would be to pour them with endless love without any kind of boundaries, the reason why you can't do that is that if the well doesn't get filled if the water is poured on them, meaning that if they don't have any means of replenishing their own worth and their own sense of being loved, and it's all sucked into this vortex of fear, there's no way of ever filling the need that they have. So that's why the theme of boundaries is in here, meaning that it is not your never-ending love can never fill their cup. And that's why you need to be careful how much of that unconditional service and unconditional dependency you are giving to them. And I think that the fear in here is saying that they aren't inherently bad people, although sometimes that is the case, but mostly not, I guess. And probably in this case it isn't, because we have the fear card. But something in this situation is invoking a big fear. And then sometimes then the most loving thing that you do is to detach, not necessarily in a violent, quick way, but detach in a sense that you are not responsible of filling their cup endlessly. It's a different thing when, for example, your friend is going through a tough period to give them a lot of support and to give them a lot of love and hand-holding and care. But if they always require this hand-holding and always require this support, then it means that it is not your responsibility to fill that cup anymore. And that might be one of the reasons why there was this underlying event or underlying tone that adjustments are required, that something in your sphere of life is requiring adjustments. So that was pretty heavy message, but I wonder, why is this a miracle? Probably, and this is my feeling from these cards, that when you understand that it is not your burden to carry, then the relief from your situation of supporting is the miracle. So you're free to be empowered, so you're free to go to your own roots and have your own beginning when you don't have to carry these energies for the other person anymore. But leaving from such dynamics can be a long journey. Sometimes it takes many years for us to walk out before we are ready. And sometimes it takes therapy, and sometimes it takes drastic life changes. But have a think if this kind of situation resonates with you. Is there a situation in your life where this kind of dynamism would be going on? And it doesn't necessarily have to be between you and between some specific person. I was also giving guidance that it can be a kind of communal fear, meaning that all the news and algorithm is kind of feeding you extreme material with trying to push your buttons of fear and uncertainty and division between people. And then standing strong in your loving heart with your Hadarian energy, it means that you need to put boundaries between you and that entity that is trying to feed your fear. So a kind of twofold message. Take from there what resonates with you, or if it doesn't resonate with you, meditate, pause the video and meditate on the cards until you feel that you've received what they want to say. All right, what is the second miracle we are approaching? What is the second miracle where we are making a difference? Our cosmic card is Earth, learning how to be human in the world but not of it. And the Dracones Loquí dragon language card is Scream. Okay, wow. Ooh. Group 3, are you going through some tough time? Because it sounds like that. Well, first of all, first of all, you have the message of being of the earth, being of the world, being human, and you are the earth. Reconnect, renew, remember. These two cards clearly speak of the same thing, and because these two were connected, empowered, and you are of the earth, then I suppose this is all connected as well. So the earth and the learning how to be human is a card that ties us to the realities around us, meaning that yes, we need to have our heart open to the stars and to the our mind open to the cosmos and imaginations, but at the same time we are still rooted in the reality around us. And sometimes the reality can be a pretty tough place to be in, and having some sort of a safe outlet like the scream that is helping us to kind of process and let those emotions run through us. So what this card is saying, that it is okay for you to be overwhelmed. Yeah, it's okay for you to be overwhelmed. Many of the people listening to these readings are starseeds, and they are delicate souls who have long history behind them. And living in this earth can be pretty tough for them. And if they have like these unconscious intuitive memories that they came from somewhere else. And the reality of this earth can be quite a lot at times. Like, for example, if you are used to this Hadarian love where everybody lives in loving connection to each others, and then you encounter all the fears and all the the division that the forces of division that affect humanity, it can be pretty tough. And not to speak of the sort of regular challenges like financial challenges or relationship challenges or work challenges or something like that. So the scream in here is guiding you to release the energy before it comes too much. It is quite okay to have a cathartic experiences where you let go of the energy that has been postponed or energy that has been kind of building up. Many people can do this with shaking workshops, or as in this card with making loud noises and loud sounds. So if you feel called to, if you need to do it, finding a safe space and a safe location to do that, and perhaps even safe individuals around you where you can safely do that and guidedly do that, then this card is definitely guiding you towards that kind of emotional release. Let's see your third card and third answer from the dragon. So the cosmic card is the Golden Children, with keywords of inner child, tenderness, innocence, and rare gifts. And then we have the card of seeing. Interesting. All right, so I feel that the Golden Children card in this reading is pointing towards that if you are a sensitive soul, if you are a stellar soul, as many of you without a doubt are, if you are a sensitive person with tenderness and innocence in you, then these are also your gifts. And by the card seeing, you are invited to recognize that your specialness, your sensitivity, your ability to sense things, sense negativity, sense atmospheres when you enter the room, sense words before they are said, even sense psychic things. That is essentially a gift. And sometimes this difference between you and some of perhaps more callous people, it can seem like a hindrance, but it isn't. It is truly a gift. You are more sensitive. You are just living in a surrounding that is demanding a lot from you, living a human life, a human experience in a world where there is genuine fear in there. So it can feel quite a lot, but the dragon is calming you down and saying that, dear child, your tenderness is a gift, and the changes that you are about to go through, they are going to empower you. And since you have this feeling of innocence, since you have these rare gifts and rare sensitivities, it is double the more important for you to have a connection to the natural world. So not only on the human fear-based news and that kind of things, the demands of the society, but the quiet sounds of the natural world, of the natural animals, plants, natural sounds, that kind of things. So all this can, when you take all these things into account and all these changes that the cards are speaking and the dragon is speaking, this all can lead you to the new beginning and over seeing things in a slightly different way. And if it feels like a lot, if you feel like screaming, then this card is to help you with that, in a sense that it says that trust in the divine design of your journey. Like, you came here to this earth to be here. You didn't go to Mintaka and in the clean waters, or you didn't go to some other location. You arrived as a soul to here, to Earth, and this was the divine plan. But also give yourself some recognitions towards your uniqueness, to your specialness, and to your needs, inner needs. So, because when listening to that is how you find the peace, and also align in a way that is meaningful for you. The current path that you are going to, there is some adjustments that are required. So what are these adjustments? Now, when all the cards have been turned, I have a clearer view. The adjustments are things like, don't feed the fear, whether it's somebody else's never-ending fear that you cannot correct, or whether it's the society's general fear where we are being controlled and manipulated. Don't give into it. Don't let that guide you and direct you. And if things are overwhelming at times, find a way to release that. Study what would be a best method for you to do that, but don't let it just pile on and never release that, because that's not healthy. That leads to illness and sickness and such. And again, your sensitivity is a gift, and see it as a gift. And it all has meaning. It all has meaning. And what is the change that is required? The change that is required is turning your life so that you honor what is important for you. You honor the quiet, you honor the natural, you honor what renews and replenishes you. And as you do these things, it is from there you will find your own power, and it is by these actions that align you. It is from there you find the empowerment. Okay, I'm still kind of thinking that are we happy with this, or do we feel that these are kind of miracle enough? Because we were discussing with the Dragon of Miracles, so these to me seem like quite down-to-earth advices for such dragon. But then when I'm thinking about it, I feel that it is the message is here that needs to be delivered. It is in these cards, meaning that that these are the things that they wanted to speak about. But this is the message. It has been said, it's in the card. I have been delivering it. But I will draw another card, and that just to give you hope. We'll see what we'll find. But I felt that because we were looking for a miracle, and we were sort of given a message that let out steam if it's too much for you. Okay, a small break as my candle died. Okay, so we are back now, and we still have one card to turn to, and this was the card of the miracle and card of the hope. I mean, we've had miracles in this table, just not the kind of things that you would expect to have at the beginning. So one card of hope for you, group number 3. We'll see what the dragon wants to say as parting gift. Oh, okay, so this is a card of conflict. So, let me think about this for a moment. And not just think about it, let me feel this card for a moment. Okay, so the dragon is giving you this card as a card of hope, because the conflict is that can help you overcome the challenges that are invoked when there is a change that you need to do. Meaning that we often try to avoid conflict by all costs, but sometimes our growth requires it. Sometimes the conflict is what propels us onward. So they aren't always as bad things as you might think from the beginning. They might be empowering us and giving us the strength to go towards the direction where we need to go. So you'll see in the future how this will turn out, but one of the interpretations is that the conflict is what will eventually set you free. It seems like such a strange word to be getting for the location of hope, but I think that the dragon is wishing to say to you that there is hope in this conflict, and the outcomes of the conflict that you are in may not be as negative as you think that they are. Meaning that you don't need to fear the conflicts. They make you realize things that you need to realize in order to live your life in truth. And also, the end results of the conflict might not be as bad as you may think. For example, if you have a major breakup and as a result of that you decide to move separately, and let's say that you decide to you find a perfect house in the woods and you are extremely happy living in there in peace, that would be one example of a situation where actually the conflict was needed as a catalyst towards that change. So this is the message of the celestial dragon, message of the cosmic dragon. And if it all feels a lot to you, find your release, and it is okay to do so and necessary to find a release. And all in all, let the changing winds move you to a place where you recover and renew, where you find your inner power and strength and find the new beginning, where all your wishes can come true in the creative potential of the new beginning. So let me take one last look of the cards and see if there's any other message or any other general advice or central message that I need to give to you. Well, group 3, the main message that the Dragon of Miracles talks to you is that there might be, and there most likely are, some quite big changes coming, and some of them can be quite well earthed, meaning that they can be quite grounding, or quite if you have lived in a sort of imaginary castles in the skies, they can kind of bring you down, but that's okay. If there are truths that are revealed, it helps you to separate things that are not yours to carry, and if it is a lot, find a safe, good way of release and let the conflicts turn out. Let them run their course. Some of them are timely and need to be going through. So you can go and say, right on time. Let the winds of change blow, and we'll see what's the new beginning that is awaiting you. This concludes our reading, Group 3. I thank you for the time that you spent in here. I hope that the insights that you gained will continue to guide you over the following days. Leave me a like or subscribe if you wish to support what I do. All the best for you, and I hope to see you in the next reading.